All right. So my last class ended up not recording, so I get to do this solo all over again. First, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me here today. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about ways to make AI easier for you, specifically in your marketing. Now, it doesn't mean that, I mean, like if you haven't used ChatGPT to this point, you're brand new to the game. If you're a seasoned user of AI, I think you'll be able to glean some tips and tricks from today's class that are really going to help you take it to the next level. Now, I'm gonna skip right to the meat of the class right here and just talk about GPT Plus. Now, $20 a month. I for me, ChatGPT Plus is at the top of my tech stack. Like it's the number one thing that I pay for every month. I don't think I'd be able to live without it at this point. So, should you pay for it? Yes, without a doubt. I think there's some definite advantages to it. Now, the ROI for me on $20 a month is probably about 30 minutes. Now, what do you get for GPT Plus? Obviously, you get the ability to log in when it's busy, but you also get GPT-4. And I know what you're saying. I've been using 3.5, GPT 3.5 for a while, and it's just fine. GPT-4 is better. The output from it is significantly better. But that's not all. You also get plugins. So I've been using plugins on GPT-4 for quite a while. Now there's thousands of plugins now built for ChatGPT. In fact, I'm going to demo one here in a minute called TopHap. They have a whole plugin store to be able to do all kinds of things, read documents, create schematics, you know, read PDFs, chat with PDFs. I mean, you name it, like there's a plugin for it now. In fact, I should do a whole class just on plugins. I think it would actually be pretty interesting. Now, you also get what they call advanced data analytics. It used to be called Code Interpreter. They renamed it to Advanced Data Analytics. What that means is now I can upload documents into ChatGPT to have it analyze it or pull some information from it. By the way, there's a ton of other advancements coming all the time. One popped up yesterday. They had this for a while. They had the ability to browse the web, and then they took it off because it was getting into past paywalls. They must have figured it out because it showed back up yesterday. And this is really cool because I was using this a lot in the past. Previously, there were plugins that you could use to browse the web, but now you can do it natively right here in GPT-4. Now, all of those fancy tools and tricks and everything don't mean anything if you don't know how to prompt the engine. Now, the prompt is the most important part of this. And I took prompting as writing code. That's basically what it is. You're writing code to tell the model exactly what to do and how to act and how to operate. And there's a couple of formulas. This is the one that I like to use. First one is just be clear and tell it who you are. Like, I'm a real estate agent in Southwest Washington. I have 15 years of experience and I love first-time home buyers. Be clear on the outcome that you're looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for a listing description, and I need it to resonate with the ideal buyer for this home while complying with discrimination laws. And the output should be in a single paragraph under 1,200 characters. So that's pretty clear on the outcome that I'm looking for right there. I have to give it as much context as possible. What I mean by context is, for this one, this is for a listing description. I have to give it as much detail about the property that I want a description for as possible. All of the amenities, the unique features, things that wouldn't necessarily show up on Zillow, right? So that's kind of the context that we're looking for. And the last thing is just pick your tone and your writing style. And if you don't know your tone and writing style, you're in for a treat, because we're going to use custom instructions, and we're going to use ChatGPT to figure out your tone and your writing style to put it into custom instructions. So last thing is adjust and edit your output. If you don't like what ChatGPT said based off of your prompt, go back and edit the prompt. Add things. If it went crazy and went off on a tangent, just go in and edit your prompt and add something to make it a little bit more descriptive. So you're going to have to adjust and edit your prompt. You're going to have to adjust and edit your output as well, because it's not always 100% accurate. So there's always a good chance that the output that you're going to come might not be perfect, but I think it's going to get you about 98% of the way there. Okay, so custom instructions. Now, this is something that they came out with a couple months ago What's great about custom instructions is, one, you can use it in the free version. You don't have to have the paid. It works in 3.5. It works in 4.0, both the same. Now, the thing about custom instructions is they have it split into two different categories. The top one is like thought starters, like who you are, what your profession is, what you do for work, things you can talk about for hours, what are your interests, your hobbies, what are your goals. You know, you can put, now you don't have to put all that stuff in there, but it kind of gives you a baseline as far as like what to put in the top. Now the bottom part is, how do you want ChatGPT to respond? This is where we're going to put your persona in there. It's your writing styles, your voice tones, how you operate, how you say things, your business persona, if you will. Okay. Now, that's the first part of this demo. Is we're gonna work on getting your AI persona into ChatGPT. Now, I put a cool little guide together for this. It's over on my website. You can scan that QR code or go to that website right down there in the bottom. I'll put a link in the description down below in case you need it down there too. But what it's going to do is going to walk you through how to input things into ChatGPT to give it your writing style. I'm going to walk you through it here in a minute. The other thing we're going to do on this call is we're going to create buyer personas. Now, what I mean by a buyer persona is, let's say you got a listing that's on the market and you want to market it to a specific buyer or buyer persona. This is going to tell you who those personas are and everything you need to know about them to get them to interact with your content. So that's the second guide that I got. Now, I told you all that to tell you this. ChatGPT is great at creating this content. It puts it out for you, but this is the manual approach, which means I'm going to use ChatGPT to create all of this stuff, right? I'm going to use it to create all this stuff, and then I have to find a way to import it and put it somewhere after that. Your social media, your CRM, your email marketing, those kinds of things. So we have to pull it out of ChatGPT and put it into these things because there's not a whole lot of integrations built up for that specific feature yet until today. So, well, until soon, I'm developing a tool called marketinghero.com, which basically is going to take the same thing that we've got now, where we're developing that persona, but it's going to allow you to bypass all of the prompting so that you can just create the content, find the buyer personas, schedule it out, and get it in your email marketing as well. So that's coming out. If you want to know more about Marketing Hero, you can go to marketinghero.ai, sign up for the early beta. Should have it into release, I would hope, by the end of October. So, but there's always hope. All right, so let's switch over to the demo portion of our program. And where we're going to start in the how-to guide for building your AI persona in ChatGPT. Now, in order to do that, what we're going to need a couple of things from you first. We're going to need 3 writing samples. Now, these writing samples can be pretty much from anywhere. What we're looking for is authentic sounding long form content, a blog post. If you've written a blog post without the help of AI, that would be great. Emails, you can take some emails of maybe a couple of paragraphs of something that you wrote to somebody, maybe a customer explaining a process, something along those lines. I've even taken social media posts. If you have some social media posts that are a little bit wordy, you can group a couple of those together and put them into a writing sample. Now, ideally, it would be great to have one of all 3 of these. That's going to give AI kind of a broad overview of who you are. But if you only have maybe 3 or 4 really long form emails, put them in, and it's going to do a pretty good job. Now, what I've done is I've crafted a prompt specifically for ChatGPT in order to help you out with this. And you'll notice there's some brackets in here. The brackets are meant for you to actually input and change what you need based off of who you are and where you're located. But the prompt sounds like this. You're an experienced real estate professional in a certain area. We needed to analyze my writing samples to build a persona. You will ask me to submit 3 samples of my writing in consecutive order, and upon completion, assess my persona, voice tones, and writing styles. I typically employ into a short paragraph, but do not reference the content of the writing samples. That was pretty important to put that in the prompt. Now, once it's done, it's going to assess you. It's going to tell you, hey, based off of this stuff, here's what we found based off of the writing samples. And you get to say thumbs up or thumbs down. Now, if you like it, we just tap yes. We just hit yes and enter. If you don't like it and you want 3 different writing samples, we hit no, and it's going to ask you to go through the same process all over again until it finds something that you like. So if the first persona that it created for you didn't work, go get some different writing samples. We'll put in 3 more writing samples to see if the second one does. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this prompt right here, and I'm going to go over here into ChatGPT. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my custom instructions are not on. Okay. And I'm going to turn that off. We're going to hit the save button. We'll come back to custom instructions in a minute, but I'm going to paste in that prompt. And there we go. It's prompting me to say, hey, please submit the first of your writing samples. So I just happen to have a couple of writing samples here. So here's the first one. Copy. I'm going to go back over here to ChatGPT. We'll paste it in. It's going to say, cool, that's great. Give me the second one. So let's copy that, paste it in, and we'll take the third one. And we'll paste that in, and it's going to analyze and give me some output based on the writing samples provided. The persona is knowledgeable, assertive, and insightful real estate professional with a modern understanding of the industry intersection with digital marketing. The writing style is authoritative, accessible, and actionable insights in a conversational and engaging manner. The tone comes across as confident, informative, slightly informal, making complex topics seem approachable to readers. Guys, that's it in a nutshell. Like, that's literally my persona right there. I take complex things and put them into tangible and practical things that people can understand. So I would say without a doubt, I'm going to just say yes on this. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me a single paragraph. Now, this paragraph is what's intended for custom instructions. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that paragraph right there. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to pop over here to custom instructions. And on the bottom part of this, first we need to hit the toggle switch to turn it on. On the bottom part of this, I'm going to paste this in, and I'm going to hit the save button. Now the top part, we haven't done the top part yet. The top part it's a little different. Here's what the top part of it would look like. Let's scroll down to step 5. Nope, step 8. Sorry. Here we go. The top part is meant to kind of like show who you are, your name, your profession, your years of experience, that kind of stuff. Okay. So we're going to go back to custom instructions, and I'm going to paste that prompt in up here at the top. My name is, and I'm going to put my name in here. Now, what's kind of crazy about this is, I'm going to put in, I'm a real estate marketing professional with 15 years of experience. That's good. In real estate buying and selling homes. Well, you're going to keep the real estate stuff in there. If you want to change from, Washington State, you can say Oregon and Southwest Washington, or wherever you happen to be located. And the last thing I put down here was like my goal. My goal is to help as many of my friends and families build their wealth through real estate. But you can change that and make it personal, whatever you want. If you're looking for the formula, just look over here on the right-hand side, and you'll see kind of the model that it's looking for. Okay. Now, once I'm done, I'm just going to hit the save button. Now, what's great is anytime I ask ChatGPT to write something, it's going to pull from those custom instructions and create the content based off of that. So I no longer have to tell it, I'm a real estate agent. I have 15 years of experience. My voice tone is this, like all that kind of repetitive stuff. It's going to do it all for me. Now, all I have to do is tell it what I want, tell ChatGPT what I want, and give it the context of what I'm looking for. Perfect. Okay, so we got custom instructions done. I'm going to show you guys something else. Check this out. So this is, we're going to go to plugins. And the plugin that I'm going to want to use on this one is called TopHap. Now, TopHap is just like a property profile creation machine. It's actually a pretty awesome platform. I've been in it quite a few times, and they have this amazing plugin that allows you to create all kinds of property profiles. So check this out. We're going to pull a listing. All right, so here's what I did. I took an off-market property, and you can do this with an on-market or off-market. It doesn't really matter. I chose an off-market property because I want to simulate you doing this before you get to a listing appointment and how ChatGPT could really help you. So let's say you have a listing appointment at this address right here. I'm going to copy that address. I'm going to enable the TopHap plugin right here, and I'm going to paste that address in. What TopHap is going to do is going to go out and pull all the property information for that specific house. Okay. And this is all just public information that it's gathering, by the way. All right. So here it comes. Now, while it's doing that, I'm going to go back over to this listing and get something else, because here's the thing. This house it's a newer house. It's on a golf course, but TopHap doesn't know that it's on a golf course. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab the listing description from the last time it was listed, just to help give ChatGPT a little bit more context on the actual property itself. Okay. And so this is going to continue to write. I'm going to pause this while it's writing. Okay. So there we go. Now we're done. And I'm going to add, I'm just going to paste in the previous listing description to this. It says, oh, looks like you've added a description. Hey, this property is a showstopper. Okay, here's where we're going to go next. And I'm going to consult my handy guide right here, creating buyer personas. We're going to go to the, let's see, it would be step 6. Nope, step 5. There we go. Here's my prompt. Identify the ideal buyers for this property and create a buyer persona for each one. That includes demographics, psychographics, pain points, and marketing strategy. Guys, this is going to blow you away right here. I'm going to paste in that prompt. And what it's going to do is it's going to analyze everything that I already put into ChatGPT, and it's going to give me hopefully 4 personas. It's probably only going to give me 3, but check this out. Here's buyer persona 1, the executive family, married, 250 grand, C-level executives, loves family time, work balance, pain points. Here's the marketing strategy to get to them. Guys, this is crazy. Okay, now imagine if you already had 3 or 4 buyer personas, you printed them out and you took them to the listing appointment and you said, like, here's who we think is the ideal person to buy your house right here. And here's the marketing strategy with how we're going to get in front of them to show them this house. Crazy. Okay, so it created me only 2 buyer personas. That's not bad. But let's say, you know what? I need another one. Let's add real estate investor to the list. So I'm going to copy this prompt, and I'm going to add another buyer persona of real estate investor to this list. Now, if there's a buyer persona that you think fits this right here, just put it in. So the buyer persona, the second one was the lifestyle enthusiast. The first one was an executive family. Okay. You know what's missing? I mean, real estate investor was missing, but you know what else is missing? Of empty nester. So we're going to add a persona of an empty nester to this list. Now we have 4. So you see, while it came up with some buyer personas, we might need to kind of coax it into where we think it needs to go, because I think an empty nester would be perfect for that house. I would gladly live in that house. Okay, so here's empty nester, the upscale empty nester. Leisurely and focused on golden years, pain points, marketing strategy. Wow, this is great. Interests, golf, travel, fine dining. Cool. This is exactly who we're looking for. All right. So we have 4 personas. Now what we need to do is we need to create some content that resonates with these 4 personas. So check this out. So if we go to the next prompt, you can see I have compose a social media caption for each buyer persona. The caption should be 400 to 500 characters. Make sure it resonates with the persona it's written for. Be sure they comply with fair housing rules. but do not reference the fair housing rule. So copy that prompt. We're going to put it in here and let's see what it comes up with. I bet it comes up with some pretty incredible stuff. So these are 4 social media posts that you can copy and paste and schedule out at your leisure, but they're targeted to a specific demographic. Okay. Now, it's not going to give us any idea as far as what pictures to use, but I think you can use your imagination. So here we go. We have 4 posts, each one that it targets a specific persona. That's pretty crazy. All right. Now, check this out. We can go one step further and we can say, what about Facebook ads? I want to run some Facebook ads to these people. So I'm going to ask it. It's almost the same prompt, but in this case, we're saying we need a Facebook ad, copy and headline, and the headline should be 6 words or less. Okay. It's almost the same thing. And what it's going to do is it's going to compose 4 different Facebook ads specifically for these buyer personas. It's crazy. When this worked, I honestly, I couldn't believe that it worked, number one. And if this is blowing your mind, I'm about to blow your mind even more because Facebook has certain restrictions with housing. You can't run ads to demographics based on age or gender or even like a 15-mile radius, so like there's all kinds of things that you can't do with Facebook ads, but they do have a list of what you can target and they're all interests. So here's what I did. I took all of these interests right here. Check these out. I put them into a list and then I put them into a prompt. So watch this. So if I take that prompt and I put it in here, the top of the prompt says, the following are the interests available for the housing category in Meta Ads Manager for September 2023. From this list, tell me what interests I should use to target each persona. Do not recommend any interests that are not on this list. Watch what happens. It goes through, analyzes all of those interests, and tells me which interests I need to focus on in order to get my ads in front of that target demographic. Crazy. It's absolutely amazing. And these are all the ones that are approved for us to use as interests. Isn't that great? Okay. So we got a listing appointment. We pulled the data. We created buyer personas, added some custom buyer personas, created some content for them, and we created Facebook ads. If you printed all that out and you took it to a listing appointment, I think they would hire you 99 times out of 100 right there. Okay. So that's creating buyer personas and using custom instructions. And I hope that helped. If there was any questions that you guys had about this, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next episode of Blow Your Mind AI. All right. Have a good day, everybody.